Welcome to the Software People Stories. I'm Shiv.
I'm Chitra.
And I'm Gayatri.
We bring you interesting untold stories of people
Associated with the creation
Or consumption of software-based solutions.
You'll hear stories of what worked,
and sometimes what didn't,
you will also hear very personal experiences.
and insights that would trigger your thoughts
And inspire you to do even greater things.
In this episode, I am in conversation with C Subramanian, more affectionately known as CS in his circles, an accomplished banker turned IT professional with international experience. In this first part of the conversation, CS shared his origin story, starting from a modest background with a focus on securing a stable life through education. Despite initial plans for a career in chemistry, a friend's suggestion led him to apply for a job at Canara Bank, where he began his career. And despite family objections, he pursued the opportunity and eventually transitioned into the IT sector within the bank, leveraging courses and opportunities for advancement. He recounted his journey from a banking employee to an IT professional, highlighting key moments such as taking on computer courses reimbursed by the bank, which unexpectedly paved the way for his entry into the IT field. He described the challenges and learning experience during the implementation of banking software, emphasizing the importance of understanding and conveying banking requirements to software developers. CS also reflects on his transition to project management and the challenges he faced, including the need to upgrade his skills and adapt to new roles. He shares insights into managing teams, emphasizing the importance of guiding and motivating team members while continuously learning and upgrading oneself. Despite initial doubts from others, he persevered, proving himself and achieving career growth within the organization. During this conversation, CS emphasized the importance of learning, adaptation, and self-confidence in navigating career transition and achieving success. He also stressed the value of teamwork, mentorship, and continuous self-improvement in professional growth. Listen on. Hi CS, welcome to the Software People Stories.
Thank you, Shiva.
I wanted to have this conversation with some specific curiosity. Okay. A lot of people do ask about transition of roles and then how one can or cannot when it comes to choosing IT roles. I think from the time I've known you, you played a variety of roles and you also bring a lot of other experience also. So I'm sure that will come up during the conversation. But if you can start with your origin story and how you got into IT, anything that you did before that, and then what have been the different roles that you played, and then we will take it from there.
Coming from a humble, modest background, my main concern was studies. I was doing my PG in chemistry in Vivekananda College, Chennai. So my aim at that time was to get a job so that we can be secure. Life can be secure. That was my only aim at that time. Thanks to my parents. They educated me till the postgraduate level. And I feel everything is destined, or somebody gives you a lead, an opportunity from where you have to pick up the threads and proceed in your life. One of my classmates, my good friend of mine, even now we are good friends, Sundaresan, he just mentioned that Canara Bank is coming out with a recruitment drive and you can apply for that, a clerical post. I just simply applied. I was in my third semester of my PG. I was about to write my exams. And during that period, I wrote the test, passed it. There was a call letter for an interview, attended it, forgot it. Then one day he reminded me that his name is in the waiting list. And I asked him, can you check up mine? He said he will try that. But within a couple of days, I got an appointment from Canara Bank, being posted to a rural branch near Pollachi. So I never knew where this branch was. But I was delighted that I'm going to earn. So that, yeah, obviously the intention was to earn, the family can be safe, secure, comfortable, whatnot. Then my father was against me joining this job. He said, why do you want to join? Do your, finish your studies and then do your PhD. I want you to go on those lines. I said, no. I said a flat no. I'm going to take this opportunity. Then I decided, but I was not sure what I could do with my PG. I wanted to do my PG at any cost. And that was in chemistry, where I had to do my project work at the lab. It's not a theory, it's a practical session where for 3 to 4 months I have to do it. I talked to my college principal, Mr. Dr. Professor Venkat Subramanian. And then he said, yes, join, but ensure you complete your PG. I said, I will do it. So joined the bank, applied for leave, wrote my third semester exams, then applied 1 month's leave during the next semester on loss of pay. So that I did my 4 months project within 1 month. I had to work hard. Yeah, the college is very cooperative. They helped me in all those things, including my Viva they arranged. So finished my PG also. But of course, there was a delay of 1 year because first year I couldn't take the test, Viva test, I couldn't do it. So completed my PG, post-graduation, and then continued with my banking service. Got married, settled down in life, got my first promotion as an officer. And then I joined the new branch, worked there for 5 years. Then due to some personal reasons, I had to come back. And during that period, I did a course on computers, which was, there was a reimbursement scheme from the bank. I did that course. I never knew that this would be my, what I would say, the starting point, which helped me to enter my IT career. I never knew that at that time. So then I came back to Bangalore on promotion, working in a normal general banking department, of course. Then the banks were recruiting people for their IT. So they had some prerequisites, preferences given to those who had undertaken this course, which was a blessing. And there was a 2-year relaxation for people who did their PG.
Oh, okay.
Got it? So these were all God-given, God-sent opportunities. I never knew that these things will help me. So then I wrote the test, aptitude test for selection to the computer setup. I got it. I was posted to a far-off place. I said, I'm not going there. And the first reason for choosing this computer line, not passionate about computer and all, I thought I could work in a city. I need not go to a rural branch. It can be in metros or bigger cities
rooms.
where at that time,
And in AC rooms.
that was not the case.
Okay.
That was not the case.
Okay.
So I joined this setup in Bangalore. We were implementing a banking software. It was called Banks 2000 of Infosys in the branches in Bangalore. So no AC, only the server room was air conditioned.
Okay.
We had to run around the branches in Bangalore, implement, guide people, counsel people, which was, I would say, a great experience, a learning curve. Because I felt even I was a novice to these type of softwares, implementation and all. The branch staff were totally ignorant of the new packages, what they should do. So we had to guide them, counsel them, ask them to accept the change. You have to do this. This is where we have to look into it. So there started my IT journey, convincing people about the utility of the softwares or whatever it is. Now we know where we have gone. So that paved the way for my IT career. And as per my thought, I worked only in metros during the IT setup period. I was in Bangalore, then I went to Hyderabad for 2 years, came back to Bangalore for a specific purpose. We were implementing the core banking software FlexTube of Oracle. So for that, I was identified to handle a particular module. So I came back, worked there for 2 years. So I knew I was moving up with reference to my computer knowledge and my background. But still, I didn't think that I had the wings to fly away from the nest. I never thought I would do that. Those 2 years in Bangalore was a very tough period in my life, because it was almost a 24/7 job where we had to stay for late hours, implement the requirements, discuss with the software providers, the service providers, get things done for the bank in the interest of the bank. My only concern was I should not let go any of the rules, regulations, guidelines stipulated by the bank. The softwares will have to suit the requirements of the bank so that the branches implement this according to the government guidelines. Being a nationalized bank, we cannot violate any norms. And the end users should be comfortable with the software, with the application. We can teach them, guide them. So here I learned so many things. So I had to convince the service provider, see, this is what is being done in the bank. This is my requirement. So I knew my requirement. I could convey this to the team. So this is where my learnings grew up. The 2 years were really tough. I'm not exaggerating. There was no personal life. Even in a nationalized bank, I quote this. There was no personal life. It was all computers, bank, throughout. So there I thought, this is tough. And there was a period where people were leaving the bank for greener pastures. When people were asking about this to me, I said, no, I don't have this in me. I cannot do this. I'll continue here as long as I'm permitted in the IT, then move to a branch or whatever it is. So destiny takes me somewhere. I thought I'll be in the IT so that I can be in a city. My children education won't suffer. The purpose was served. So God helped me serve this purpose also. My son and daughter finished their education at Bangalore and Bangalore plus Hyderabad. That's it. So they were into their college. Son got an appointment. He joined. He started working. So daughter entered her engineering. At this point, one of my friends, I would like to quote his name, Swami, with a banking background. He was working with Oracle. I had to deal with him when we were implementing this software. He said, sir, with your background, you can leave the bank. I just laughed and said, I don't have any background. I know my domain. I know how to take these requirements, the rules as per the directives of the bank, convey, test it. I'm using a word for the first time, testing, how it works, whether it suits my requirement. He said, this is itself is your plus point, sir, you can do it. Then again, I told, I don't have a mail ID. I don't have my profile. He never asked me anything. He asked for certain information which I gave. I never knew the background. One day he came back and said, this is your email ID which I have created. And then to that mail ID, he sent the resume. Sir, this is the resume I have prepared. If you want, you edit it. I went through it. I said, I cannot do anything better than this. So he was my inspiration. So he said, now you start applying for your openings. I said, I do not know whether I will get. You know, what was my age at that time? 50. I applied, attended a couple of interviews. It didn't materialize, whatever be the reason. Then through one of my relatives, he was working in a BFSI software testing company. Through him, I attended an interview with ThinkSoft Global Services Limited. And I was identified, now I repeat words, I was identified based on my banking knowledge and software knowledge on Pinnacle and FlexCube. So this was my strength. This was my talking point. The CEO took the interview, identified and posted to Madras, Chennai, sorry. So now here I was staying all along in Bangalore. The first step, moving out of the family. Of course, Son was working, daughter was into her engineering. Family was a bit settled, no problem. And Bangalore, Chennai was a commutable distance. So I moved to Chennai, where fortunately my son was also working there. We stayed together in our own flat. So my software journey started. So I handled small projects in Bombay for many banking software clients. Here I would like to quote one thing. Once we consulted an astrologer regarding when I had some official problems or whatever it is, a person, just for some clarification, I consulted an astrologer. She was a lady, old lady. She told me a couple of things. You need not worry about your children. They will take care of themselves. They will be fine. And said, you will earn a lot of money and you will even travel abroad. I said, yes, Canara Bank is paying me money. I get a good salary. Good, I am comfortable. Travel abroad. Maybe I will go on a trip to Sri Lanka. That's what I jokingly said. I do not know what was in store for me. Maybe she had predicted it correctly. When I joined this, I got my first on-site opportunity in the Middle East.
Okay.
It was in Dubai. So my first travel, had my passport, I had a visa, I traveled. And that was a long stay for about 2 years.
Okay.
And a couple of projects in Dubai. I took a small room in a flat and settled there. So worked, nothing but worked. And I also had a nice time. See, it was a foreign country with good basic facilities. Of course, the climate was harsh, but cannot be done. I had there, and there I had my learnings. Handling the customer, handling the client's requirements, knowing the client's requirements, analyzing them, understanding their requirements, discussing with the software providers and how that should behave. Because the software people knew how to write the code. I had to interpret what the bank says as far as their requirements are concerned. It is not my requirement. In Canara Bank, I was doing my requirement. So I had to understand their requirements, clearly tell them this is what the software should do. Get them, or discuss with them, get things done. They will do the development, give it to us for testing. Then I had to say so many things to my team regarding the software, the banking domain. Here, my experience in the bank helped me a lot in running the projects. It was not easy because the testing team comprised mostly of fresh graduates, engineering graduates who are totally new to banking. For them, any domain is something new. You put them into insurance or retail or healthcare, it was all new to them. I used to ask them during the first meeting or interaction, what is your knowledge about banking? They will say, I had a savings account at the bank. I had gone to the bank with my father. That's it. Beyond that, they never knew what banking is, nothing. So I had to teach them, take them under my wings. It was a young team, but I could motivate them, guide them, counsel them. There were a lot of issues, understanding issues were there. So then they had to go about their job on testing. They were also new to the domain. They were also new to testing. I knew my domain. Even I was a bit new to these type of testings. So I had to pick up the knowledge, make them understand, pass on the requirements to them. So what is testing? The consequences. At that time, it was all initially a manual testing. It was not an automated testing at all. We had to write the manual scripts for all scenarios, situations as per the requirements of the bank. I have to ensure that they don't miss anything. If something is missed and that goes unnoticed even by the bank, ultimately, if it goes to production, there may be problems. So I had to think on all these lines, discuss with the bank, go to the software vendor, discuss, come to my team, discuss, talk. And then, so we come to a conclusion, this is how it should work. So this started my journey from a banking employee to an IT in the bank, and then to the IT sector, where my role was totally different. I had to lead a team, convince a team, teach them. In that process, I learned so many things of which I was not aware earlier. Even I was not comfortable with all MS Office tools. Nothing I knew. PowerPoint presentations, I did not know how to create a PowerPoint presentation. So I had to learn so many things by taking the help of somebody. So instead of me struggling, I used to ask my juniors, hey, how to do this? So it was also a learning curve for me. When I taught them the banking domain or testing, I learned from them what they know. They were all exceedingly good in Excel, Word, PowerPoints, pivot charts, all those things. So I learned all those things. I was upgrading myself on the technology, on the banking developments. It varies from bank to bank, region to region, country to country. So this journey in the Middle East, we did a lot of projects in Middle East. So I almost stayed there for 3.5 years for various projects. I made so many trips there, handled projects. So from a domain, slowly I moved to a techno-functional. I had to learn something about the architecture of the software. Basic things I had to know because I should know certain things. And then slowly I moved to project management. The transition was not easy. I repeat, the transition was not easy for me because from the bank, I did my job that was required. But now I had to lead a team. I had to deliver the goods. So I have to meet all expectations, not only from my organization, from the client side, so that the projects don't suffer. This was a challenge for me. But I was upgrading my knowledge at any point of time. One thing I would like to emphasize to all these people, what I learned, I'm just sharing. Don't hesitate to ask questions. If you do not know anything, politely, coolly tell them, I do not know this. Accept that I do not know. So be a child, start learning from them, catch the threads, then you will start growing. At some point of time, you will be able to guide them or counsel them. So accept what are your shortcomings, in what areas you don't have. But wherever you are strong, be sure about it. Emphatically tell them, this is how the software should behave. This is where you're supposed to work. Then I did a lot of work on the project management side. Metrics was totally new to me. The dashboards, the presentations to the various stakeholders, I never knew. I learned all those things. I observed people doing that. I had to act fast. You cannot say I will do it tomorrow. It's not possible in the IT sector. Even today, I will do it tomorrow. It's not accepted at all. Do it now. One of my seniors used to say, you should say, should have been yesterday. That was the logic. Do it now. So start learning and upgrading yourself as if you want to grow. Then, yes, I had my career growth in the organization. I moved up the ladder every time with a good jump, of course. The salary, yes, I'm not, everybody knows what IT sector is all about. But the satisfaction it gave to me that I could also do this. That was my, I would say, the main takeaway. Because there were people, even in my earlier organization, who doubted whether this guy can go out at 50 and survive. And does he know the background? Does he have the knowledge to perform? So there were people who told in front of me or behind me. This is a takeaway for all those who are listening to this podcast. Just accept those things. Whatever somebody says about you, good or bad, it may be true. Yeah, they are saying about my shortcomings. Yes, I was not a techno guy. I learned. I was not into project management. I learned so many things. I had to learn. So I accepted. Yes, these are challenges. Accept challenges. If some people say this guy may not do it, take it in the right spirit. Let me prove that I can also do it. So this is my experience as far as learning is concerned, where you have to concentrate. I learned so many things, including multitasking at the same time. Sometimes it will be too tough. You have to attend to so many things at the same time. You have to spend a lot of time with the younger generation, teaching them, sometimes learning from them. Then I have to spend a lot of time with my seniors in the organization, with the clients.
Mm.
And during these periods, sometimes I used to feel a bit jittery, but I knew, yes, I have made this beginning. I can do this.
Mhm.
I had the confidence in me. I could survive comfortably in this industry. Many people I know who joined this race couldn't do well. I know many of my friends, I know this is with everybody. It's not only with banking domain, with any domain. They felt, sorry, I'm not able to do this. Maybe I cannot do this. I'm not suitable for this.
Mm.
I felt, yeah, I have done this much. So every day I felt I was growing.
Mm.
I was learning something.
Mm.
So right from starting to survive, I felt now I'm able to swim. Why can't I swim happily?
Mm.
So this is what motivated me to proceed further and further in the organization. I delivered the goods as per the management's requirement. I got a good name there. I could get a couple of promotions as and when they were due. At 50, I joined, so I got my promotions. I never thought these things will happen.
Mm.
So whatever is destined to happen will happen. So you should be prepared for the opportunities as and when they arise. Sometimes you may feel the opportunity coming at you. Sometimes you have to go for the opportunity, create the opportunity. In my case, I think everything happened. And there will be people on the way who will be ready to help you. So take those helps, ask them. And there may be something negative also, somebody will say something about you. Take it in the right spirit, prove that they are wrong. But at any point of time, your determination, your self-confidence can do wonders for anybody. I used to read a lot of books, motivational books. See, at that time, I was not so comfortable with the internet handling and all. Now I am comfortable. But at that time, I knew nothing. So slowly I started learning. Then I had my use all these whatever I learned. Let me try to practice, read some motivational books, articles, go for that, try to implement that, and always take your team under your wings. Protect your team. Don't ever say, my team did not deliver. This is one thing which I would say to anybody, not only from my side, anybody. Take the team under your wings, guide them, motivate them. There may be one or two black sheep who may not adjust, who may not be to your expectations. Try to tune them. Try to tune them. Mostly I have felt 99% they come into the fold. They understand, yes. So they come into the fold. One or two may be there. Just leave it. But growing with the team, yes, that is what is important. In my organization, even my seniors or my peers used to tell something, yeah, CS mingles with the team well. So any team you put him in, he takes the team, takes control of their activities, guides them, motivates them, be with them. This is a must for any person. This is not only applicable to IT. I have felt in other sectors also. Taking the team, taking care of the team, motivating them, guiding them, at the same time upgrading yourselves is a must.
I asked him about his experience in going through some of the transition in his career. That and more in the next episode. Don't miss it.
We thank Siddharth for the music and Anita for promoting the Software People Stories.
If you like this episode,
Please subscribe on your favorite podcast client.
And spread the word in your network.
if you'd like to share your story,
Contact us at podcasts@pm-powerconsulting.com.